I just want you to focus. Pull me in, pull me closer. Give me that diagnosis. Fill my mind like explosions. Just one touch leaves me helpless. On repeat like it's endless. Then she turned to a white dress. Looks so good, damn, you did this, yeah. I just want you to focus on my love. Just focus on my. I just want you to focus on my love. Just focus on my. I just want you to focus on my love. Just focus on my. I just focus on my love. Yeah. I just want you to focus on my love.
Hey guys, I'm Amber Carolyn and welcome to my channel. I am a visual artist, digital creator, and all-around tarot lover. And today we are going to talk about some tarot. If you see some little ears down here, that's Banana. So don't mind her. She's just giving us some moral support. But yeah, today we're going to talk about tarot. I feel like over the years tarot has grown in popularity and there's messages everywhere and tarot's readers everywhere, but nobody's really telling you or talking about what it is, what it means, and how do we all kind of get here. So I'm your homegirl who's here to put you on game, you know what I'm saying? And so today I'm going to be painting and we are going to be talking about tarot and all of the things. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely stick around. If there are any questions that you feel like I didn't answer or don't answer in the video, definitely go down in that comments below and shoot me a comment, because I'm here. I want to talk about it, and that's what I'm here. I want to build my community around what it is that I love, and I love tarot and I can't help it. And so I'm just gonna share you all of my knowledge, all of the knowledge that I have at this moment with you guys, and we're gonna call each other in and see if we can learn more or do something or make something shake. How about that? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So, and if you feel like this is helpful, share it with a friend, like this video so more people can see it, and subscribe to my channel because this content isn't going anywhere. I ain't going nowhere, and we just getting started, boo. So yes, that is the intro. I love you guys. I really pray that you gained something out of this, even if you have been reading tarot for a while. Hopefully you gained something new or gain something. And definitely if you're just getting into it, I pray that it answers all the questions that you need to get your journey started, or just to give you clarity about what's going on, what's happening. All right, so let's get into it. What is tarot? So excuse me, I have my notes, so excuse me if I fumble or because I got my notes right here. I'm trying to make sure I don't go off on tangents and make sure that I give you accurate information. But long story short, tarot is a card deck made up of 78 cards. Each of the cards have their own messages, meanings, symbology, and story. Tarot in a lot of cultures is used as a way to communicate in divine messages from the spiritual realm. It's made up of two different sections or parts. They call them the major and the minor arcana. Fun fact, the arcana in Latin actually means secrets. So the whole idea of the tarot is to kind of hold the greater and lesser secrets of the human life. And so when we get into like the major arcana talks a lot about major events, major spiritual lessons, like spiritual lessons and life lessons. And it also is told to be the story of the fool's journey. And the fool's journey is a story about this fool that goes on this journey of discovery, and they learn life lessons, they complete cycles, they go through trials and tribulations, and they kind of come out finding them truest selves and kind of starting the journey all over again. And so it's kind of told that like, and then like, okay, I'm moving ahead myself, sorry. And then like the minor arcana, excuse me, is like the lesser secret. So it's the everyday life. It kind of represents like everyday people, the people that are in your circle, the events or the situations that may happen in like everyday life and circle. So the whole thing together is kind of, Okay, sorry, I got cut off, but pretty much what I was saying is the whole aspect of the tarot deck together is to kind of tell this whole story of all aspects of the human life, every trial, tribulation, cycle, and journey that the human will experience in their lifetime. And so it's supposed to kind of be a great tool for not just communication with spirit, but communication with self and reflection and healing and growth, etc. Okay, so where did tarot come from? So tarot originally surfaced in Italy around the 1400s as a playing card game called Tarocchi. And this playing card game, when I read about it, it was explained similar to how we in the United States kind of play spades. It was played at like parties, house gatherings, get-togethers, etc. And it was the system of like, so the major arcana was looked up as like they were 21 trumps, and then the rest of the cards were like the rest of the game. And the fool could be used as a trump, or it could just be used to not play out a suit. So there are four suits, 21 trumps, and it depends on who you played with on the rule of the fool. In around 1789, a guy named Jean Baptiste Alid, who goes by Estella, was actually the one that is known for creating the current card meanings that we know today. So this person is known for putting each of the meanings to each of the cards. And a lot of people believe that they got this idea from the Book of Thoth, mainly because of all of the symbolism with Egyptian and ancient mythology and stuff like that. But that's up to your interpretation. Definitely go do your homework or look into that. The Book of Thoth is very interesting and it's a whole rabbit hole to get into. So in 1909, that is when Rider Waite and Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith created the Rider Waite Smith deck. This deck has been known to incorporate traditional symbolisms with like modern twists and have an emphasis on interpretations and personal reflection. Both Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite were a part of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and this was a secret society that was devoted to the study and the practice of mysticism and hermeticism. And so they really looked into kind of the whole what life really means, or what is the meaning to life, and they had all of these answers. And it's a bunch of text on like what they were studying and how deep it goes. Some of it's harder to find than others, but the Golden Dawn is another society that is very, very interesting, especially if you're getting into tarot, and or you just want to learn more about the symbolisms and get deeper into it. Yes, because it definitely was derived from all of that, and so it can get interesting when you get into it. Later on, though, there in 1944, this guy named Aleister Crowley, and some people don't like him, some people do. It's all about whatever, but you know, he did make great contributions. He actually made the Thoth tarot deck, and this tarot deck is definitely obscure. It really focuses on like astrology. It has information from the Kabbalah and a lot of Egyptian mythology all throughout it. And it has very like iconic and unique imagery when it comes to symbolisms of the tarot. And a lot of people start with one or the other. So some people start with the Rider Waite tarot deck, and then other people start with the Thoth tarot deck. But I thought it was cool to like let you guys know about them because they are very, very big names in the industry, and they kind of are the ones who are known or tokened for starting it all and creating the systems that we read off and use to this day. So yeah, and those are the three most popular decks used in the entire world to this day. So the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Thoth tarot deck, and then the Tarot de Marcella. A lot of people use that still, like in Italy, and they still play Tarocchi, which I thought was super cool. And that's like still a thing. But those are the three main tarot decks that are used, and that's kind of where tarot came from and how it came about. Okay, so tarot is a language. It is made up of symbols, your inner awareness, and inner knowledge, right? And so when we talk about that, I definitely want to talk about how important it is to actually learn the traditional meanings of the cards, especially in the beginning while you're still discovering what your intuition is and what your ego is and what are those things, and learning how to speak, kind of bringing a name and different understanding to the forefront will be very beneficial to you. But as far as how it works, it's all about communicating what it is that you see, feel, hear, and know to and with the cards. That's really all it is. When it comes down to reading tarot, it's all about the intention, where the intention lies. Whoever is holding the deck, whoever is communicating the messages, it's all about the intention. What is the intention of what's being questioned or asked about? Okay. Um, and just so we are clear, when it comes to tarot, it has nothing to do with your religious beliefs. It has nothing to do with like what other people believe. It has everything to do with your own internal understanding and inner belief, right? And so when we are going into it and people are asking, oh, is this demonic? Is it this? Is it bad? Is it scary? And all this other stuff. It's what you make it. It's all about who has the cards and the intention behind the message. That's it. And all it is. It isn't like this fortune teller situation. Like when it comes to it, tarot isn't like a fortune teller situation. Now, if you have the gift of foresight, then you can tell people's future, but the tarot deck alone isn't, that's not what it is. It's not that. Tarot gives you the opportunity to see and kind of understand the energies that are happening in the moment, and it'll touch on what has already happened to lead up to this moment. But as far as it really going into like the future, and it's telling your future and it's gonna tell you what's gonna happen, that's not so much what it is. It can give you possible outcomes to the future, but it isn't like this, oh, this is what's gonna happen. It doesn't work like that. Everything in tarot is kind of, the fleeting isn't the right word, but nothing is set in stone. It's all about right here and right now and what's going on and what can be handled at this very moment. Tomorrow it might be something totally different. So just be mindful of that when it does come to dealing with tarot. It's what, if it flows, let it, if it doesn't flow, let it go, we just keep that system. But when it comes to understanding it and just understanding how it works, it's someone being able to assess the energies and communicate them. That's how it works. So you pull the cards, you shuffle the cards, you pull the cards, you set the intention, you ask the question. Well, you set the intention, you ask the question, you pull the cards, and then you convey, relay, or communicate that message. And that's literally how it works. It's super simple, nothing spooky going on, nothing like, it does get interesting because, like I said, it's an information exchange, so the conversation gets deeper, and like you start to look into more things, and it there's this rabbit hole effect that can happen. But it's more so, especially when you're doing it personally, tarot gives you the opportunity to have that inner dialogue with self. It is the number one way to initiate inner dialogue with self and assess it, and work with what it is that you have. And so that's what it is. Nothing spooky, nothing like, we all can do it. It doesn't matter what it is that you believe in. It's all about if you're willing to sit with yourself and have that communication and open up that dialogue. That's what it's all about. If you're willing to sit there and do it. When it comes to other people reading for other people, they're able to open up that dialogue and communicate what they can see from their lens, because tarot also is a lens. Each deck can only tell you about so much, or each deck has its own viewpoint and its own lens of what the message is that it's trying to convey. You have your own lens and your own interpretations of what the message is, and so just know that it works through lenses, and I will get into that lens analogy a little bit later. But just like a camera, so think about the lens on the camera. That's kind of how it works, is we have a perspective and a viewpoint, and we show it, and it's shown to us, and we then communicate it to the best of our abilities. And that's how that works, and I hope that makes sense. Definitely let me know in the comments. Okay, so people get readings for multiple reasons. For clarity, to gain insight, to for personal reflection, introspection. I mean, the list goes on. And kind of when I said like about the lenses earlier, like, we all have our own lens of the way that we view things. We all have our own perspectives, opinions, and viewpoints of the way we view things. And sometimes when you go to someone else, and they're able to kind of see the viewpoints and the perspectives, they may pick up on something that you kind of have or seen but didn't really get the full information of it. So it's kind of like people literally get readings to gain new perspectives or different perspectives on their current life and decisions, or situations that are going on in their life at the moment. I hope that makes sense. That's why people get readings. I mean, for the short version of it is for healing, introspection, and helping with like clarity and decision making processes. Readings can also give you possible outcomes to the future, but like I was talking about earlier, if the person is gifted to, but it's kind of like a different perspective on what's going on. So that's why people get readings. Okay, so now let's talk about how to start your tarot journey. Of course, we're gonna start with get a deck. I would personally suggest probably getting one of the more common ones, like the Rider-Waite-Smith, the Tarot de Masala, or the Thoth Tarot, just because there's an abundance of information all over the internet. And most of the decks that you're going to buy nowadays are derived from one of those systems, from one of those decks. Like, you can always track them back to one of these three decks. So if you were gonna start and you don't have any decks, I would tell you to start there with one of the three most common, and then just branch off, because once you know the basics, then you can kind of really get into it when it comes to other decks, and their creativity with the messages and the symbolisms, etc. All right. And then I would say to get a journal. Something that I would suggest you do, like, even if you've been doing this for a while, if you don't already have it, like, create a tarot key. And this is just like one page with simple keywords to each of the cards and their meanings, and just so you have something very quick to look at and go to while you're reading. And it just makes that journal space, and you kind of like reading your tarots and relaying the messages, it makes it so much more smoother and easier. I'm actually going to leave you guys the link to my tarot key, in the description below. So check that out if you're interested, but definitely put a tarot key in your journal so that you can always have it, and it just makes it easier. It just makes it life easier. Just make life easier for yourself, okay? And then also with the journal, record your readings, like especially your personal readings, the ones that you have with yourself. Record them, write them down, write the question down or what was implied, write the cards that were pulled and the message that you interpreted from them. The more you record, and like when you go back, these are great pieces for self-reflection. I will personally say, when I really started to record my readings is kind of when I elevated in all aspects of my life. And so I would just encourage you, no matter where you are in your journey, to record your readings. Record your readings, record your readings, record your readings. It makes all of the difference, and it really helps you understand and see what is being relayed to you. What messages are you actually receiving? It's just amazing. Also, another thing is, don't be afraid to do your research. So in this game, you're going to hear a lot of information from me and other people. If you have a question about something, or if you're curious about something, we all have Google. Don't be afraid to research. Don't be afraid to look it up. Don't be afraid to read. Don't be afraid to question, ask questions, and because this is all thought provoking. So as long as you're having that internal dialogue, and as long as you're, don't be afraid to challenge and question and find your own answers, is kind of what I'm trying to say. Don't be afraid to find your own answers. If something doesn't make sense, or if you don't understand it, don't just take it for what it is. Go out of your way to understand what it means to you or for you, or why you aren't getting it at that moment. Take that extra step to go deeper, because that's where all the magic really is. And when you really decide to go deeper and challenge certain narratives and norms, and you find your own truth and in your own inner seeking. So yeah, I would suggest, don't be afraid to go deeper and do your research and find out the answers for yourself, okay? And just always remember that nothing is set in stone. The tarot, when you're reading tarot, it's the energy at that moment. At any given time, things can change, switch up. So, don't take it for face value. Take it for what it is. Be very open and lighthearted about it, because that's when it's most helpful. When it's very destructive, or it feels like there's friction within the relationship, that's when there's like this obsession, and you go down this hole, and you get all tense. Like, don't use it for that. be very lighthearted. It's kind of like you're talking to your homegirl, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, and keep it pushing. Don't be so rigorous and strict when it comes to dealing with the tarot and the information that you receive from the tarot. Okay? And yeah, I really hope that helped. Like, that's my like main tips. I will be doing more videos, kind of getting deeper into how to read and etc. But like, that was my main tips. I really hope that that helped you. And if you have any questions, like I said, and you want me to talk more about something or dig deeper into it, put it down in the comments. I'm your girl. I'm here for you. Okay? Thank you so much for spending time here. I really hope that you learned something and got something out of this video, or, even if it's just a better understanding of what tarot is. Um, Definitely like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and comment below if you have any questions or concerns. I also left you guys some goodies, so in my description box there is a link to the tarot key that I created, and then I also have two cool daily starter spreads that you could use if you have your deck right now. So go check that out. That's on my website. The link is in the bio. Other than that, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more content. And I love you. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.